check, check. Good evening, Phoenix. Are you ready for some roller derby? Let me try that one more time. Are you ready for some roller derby? I am Old Greg. Welcome to the Hall of Dames. The Arizona Derby Dames offer you the only fast-paced bank track roller derby in Arizona.
And I'm Kills Bills. Tonight we have a doubleheader. Game 1 is the Schoolyard Scrappers versus the Doomsday Valkyries. And Game 2 tonight will be your Brutal Beauties battling the Coffin Draggers. Both games are going to be really exciting, but we got some ground rules first. Please, no whistling as it interrupts the game. Please keep in mind that when in line for the bathroom, skaters take priority. For the safety of our skaters and yourself, please keep your body parts outside of the track. With that being said, let's get this party started.
All right, Derby fans, our regulator squad is now going to be checking the teams for safety, and while that is happening, we would like to introduce our regulators this evening for you. The regulators are, in fact, the team that we couldn't compete without. Refereeing tonight for the regulators. At head referee for our first bout, Hoover Slam, the birthday girl. Happy birthday, Hoover.
Tonight's game executioner, Freya Hugs.
Gem referee, Meryl Streak.
Your other jam referee is co-captain Mount Everett.
Front pack referee, Infidel Castro.
Your backpack referee is Reverend Knuckleface.
Outside pack referee, Ref Boyardee.
Outside pack referee, Daddy Mike.
Penalty tracker, Optical Delusion.
Penalty tracker assist, Bender B. Rodriguez.
Penalty box admin, Lucifer.
Penalty box admin, your captain, Lollipop.
On whiteboard, Professor McGonagall.
Your eye in the sky, Scully Glossbones.
Eye in the sky, Racy Tracy.
Your scoreboard, Magnificent Moose.
On stats, Beverly Kills.
On stats, Pocket Change.
That is our regulators for this evening. Show some love to the regulators. It could be the only love they get all night. We'd like to welcome you to the Hall of Dames, your head ref for tonight's bouts. As we mentioned, Hoover Slam is head ref for the first bout. Head ref for the second bout is regulators Captain Lollipop. Let's play some roller derby. Mount up. We would like to direct your attention up to the video boards, and we'd like to display to you a video from our most recent tryout session for the Arizona Derby Dames. And now, Derby fans, it is time to get ready for our first bout of the evening. And to do that, we are going to introduce the teams. First up, it's the Doomsday Valkyries. Skating tonight for the Doomsday Valkyries, number 143, Aphrodite. Number 88, Alabama Worley. Number 401, Optimus Prime. Number T65, BB Skate. Number 1116, Becker Wrecker. Number 67, Chingadora. Number 418, Delectibel. Number 500, Indy. Number 311, Can You Dig It? Number 73, Shirley Temple of Doom. Number 187, Sour Appletini. Number 600, Thigh Voltage. Number 24-7, your co-captain, Hot and Ready. And number 5.7 leader, your captain of the Doomsday Valkyries, War Girl. Helping the team on the bench tonight, our bench coach, Cheese, and the penalty manager is Supreme Court. Not skating tonight, number 1121, Hard Knock Harley, and number 81, Nurse Ratchet.
All right, Phoenix, here come your Schoolyard Scrappers. All right, skating tonight for your Scrappers, number 918, Ballistic Buffalo. Number 1235, Bob Villain. 0 to 60, she's Carla Dang. Number 1984, Cruisin' for a Bruisin'. Number 724, Dolly Spartan. At number 31, Felony Storm. Number 144, Ivy Overdose. Number 68, Juicy Kill Tour. Number 5, She's Made in Asia. 172, Pikachu. 619, Shorty Fierce. 1976, Strike Her Down. And 241, Horchata. Number 34, your co-captain, Pretty Hurt Machine. And number 669, your captain, Nikki Badass. Helping the team tonight on their bench, our bench coach, HFA's penalty manager, Bobby Ross. Not skating tonight, OMG, Killin' May Smalls.
We'd like to toss it down to the infield, and Doomsday Valkyries skater, Can You Dig It? Take it away.
Hi, I just want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. I wanted to take just a minute and acknowledge somebody that I love very much. Hottie Boombalati, come here. This is Hot. She's hot and ready, 24/7. I just want to tell you that I love you, and I've loved you since the day I met you. And I know that we talked about being derby wives, but my mom always told me that if I was going to marry, that I should try and marry up. So now that you're co-captain of our team, I just wanted to know if you would do me the pleasure of being my derby wife. And before you say yes, I asked your real husband, and he said that it was okay. You accept? She said yes! It's official now.
All right, now say.
She said yes, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up one more time.
All right, let's do this. First time I ever sang national anthem. I guess we'll just go ahead and start. Okay, here we go. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Play ball.
Let's hear it for Kelvin Harper, our national anthem performer. Kelvin, a former banker who now owns and hosts karaoke all over the valley with his business You Betta Sang Productions. Kelvin Harper, tonight's national anthem singer. Looks like we are ready to get underway. Jamming first for the Schoolyard Scrappers is going to be Dolly Spartan, and jamming for the Doomsday Valkyries is War Girl. Pack makes her way now down to the back straightaway. War Girl now able to get by on the inside, and War Girl is the lead jammer for the Doomsday Valkyries. Dolly Spartan out of the pack as well, right behind. Schoolyard Scrappers now going to try to press the pace of play and keep the pack away from the oncoming War Girl. Dolly Spartan now trying to catch up, and War Girl has to call it off. Dolly Spartan coming on with a full head of steam there.
War Girl trying real hard to draw first blood.
And we did have a penalty called on Dolly Spartan there during that last jam, so we already, literally the earliest you could have it, we've got our first power jam of the bout. It's going to be the Doomsday Valkyries doing the power jam dance. Can you dig it? Who just got Derby engaged, is out there as the power jam jammer. Trying to fight her way through here. Once again, if you're new to Derby, if a penalty is called on your jammer during a jam, you get no jammer the next jam, and you get no points. That Schoolyard Scrapper defense now is trying to keep Can You Dig It from getting clear.
Valkyries trying to break up that defense, get their jammer out.
In order to score points, you've got to get through the pack and then come all the way around, and after that point, every skater that you pass is worth a point. That's how you score some points. So right now, the Scrapper defense has held her in so far. Can You Dig It has not been able to get out of the pack just yet, so no points to this point. With 10 seconds left in the power jam. Can You Dig It now out of the pack, but it looks like the clock is going to expire on this jam, and it in fact does.
Valiant effort there. The Valkyries never giving up on that.
And it looks like we've had a, let's see here what we've got. We've got Nikki Badass coming to the line for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and that's going to be Indy, number 500 for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Indy trying low and gets knocked to the infield on the first try. Nikki Badass able to get out in turn 1. Indy having a little trouble at the back of the pack while Nikki's halfway around the track. Indy able to battle her way front. She's out. Nikki cuts through on the low and calls off the jam, getting her 4 points.
Took 3 jams, but we got some points on the board now. Stepping up to the jammer line for this next jam. All by her lonesome. That is going to be Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers. We did have a penalty assessed on the Doomsday Valkyries jammer there in the last jam, so it's a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers now. And before we get to that, it's going to be an official timeout, so the regulator's now going to talk that one over. Make sure that we got everything all square. All right, back to the action once again. It's going to be a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Felony Storm will be doing the honors for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Felony Storm able to get right out before she even got to turn 1. Slow moving pack behind her.
Schoolyard Scrappers are trying to control the pace of play here and keep that pack held up. Felony Storm, they're taking a tumble trying to get through and knocked off her skates on her scoring pass. Schoolyard Scrappers trying to hold that pack up and give their jammer as many times to get around and score points as possible. Felony Storm again trying to go just mid-pack, ends up taking a tumble one more time with 15 seconds left in the power jam, able to get by on her second scoring pass down to the inside. And be coming around one more time here with 7 seconds to go in this jam.
Valkyrie's doing a good job in these early stages trying to keep a wall solid, keeping the Scrappers from running up the score. Got War Girl coming to the line, showing a little love for the other team. Playing against Pikachu, first time jamming this evening.
And it was a 12-point power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Brings our score up to 16-0 here in the very early going. We're underway in this jam. Your Valkyries captain War Girl up to the high side trying to get by on the rail and now down to the inside. And War Girl is out and is your lead jammer once again for the Doomsday Valkyries. Just behind Pikachu, now out of the pack as well for the Schoolyard Scrappers. So we've got a little bit of a jammer race, kind of, to get back to the pack. Schoolyard Scrappers able to get their blockers together on the front of the pack, and they're controlling the pace of play at this point, trying to push things on around the track. War Girl gets on into the pack and goes ahead and calls off the jam.
Got to call off the jam before the other team can score points if you're not going to score points first.
And we have 2 points on the board for the Doomsday Valkyries, so they've got points on the board here in the early going as well.
I'm sorry, he said 2 points for the Valkyries.
Looks like we've got Pretty Hurt Machine for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and that's going to be Becker Wrecker for the Doomsday Valkyries. Pretty Hurt Machine is out of the pack and as clear as the lead jammer for the Scrappers.
Once again, the Valkyries able to form up a nice wall at the back of the pack. Not making it easy for Pretty Hurt Machine to score her points.
Pretty Hurt Machine tries to slide her hips in front of a couple of skaters and calls off the jam before surrendering any points. Penalties being called out from the infield here, so we will wait for the official penalty tally. It's going to be Dolly Spartan for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and that is Indy, number 500 for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Indy tries to load but gets caught in traffic, but Dolly Spartan's able to get out in turn 2. Indy gets out and is desperately trying to catch up to Dolly Spartan. Dolly Spartan gets to the back of the pack and calls off the jam. Some points are better than none. Scrapper's able to pick up 3 points on that jam.
We've got Juicy Kill Tour for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Kenya Diggett for the Doomsday Valkyries on the jammer line.
Juicy real quick, able to go high, go low, and get right on out. Slow pack. Kenya's trying to get out, try the middle. Juicy Kill Tour is coming up on the pack. Pack only still in turn 2. Again, another solid wall of Valkyries in the back there. Juicy able to fight her way through it and calls off the jam. Kenya was able to get out and was about to come up in the pack, get some points of her own.
We've got War Girl for the Doomsday Valkyries, and it's Pikachu for the Schoolyard Scrappers on the jammer line. Halfway through the first quarter here, Schoolyard Scrappers have jumped out to the early lead 27-2, and it's a jammer race out to the front of the pack. That wasn't a jammer race at all. It was just one jammer. It was War Girl, and she's your lead jammer for the Doomsday Valkyries. Pikachu out of the pack as well. War Girl's got a little bit of a lead, going to try to catch the pack here and get some points picked up. War Girl trying to fight her way by a couple of skaters on the high side. We will see if she was able to get those hips in front of any skaters, and she got past one skater plus picked up the penalty point. 4-2 for the Doomsday Valkyries. It's going to be Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Becca Recker for the Doomsday Valkyries. One of her teammates shouting out to Becca Recker there along the high side. Had an opening, she thought, but was not able to get through. Felony Storm now out of the pack, and Felony Storm is the lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Becca Recker having a hard time getting by Juicy Kill Tour there. Scrapper's able to recycle around in front of her as Felony Storm makes her way through the pack, scoring her points. She's going to go for a second round. Thanksgiving dinner so good. Going to go for a second helping. Has a little trouble on the high side. Valkyrie's trying to form a wall again.
Felony Storm exits the pack there and goes ahead and calls off the jam after getting that second round of points. And indeed, it's a 10-point jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers here with just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's going to be Nikki Badass at the jammer line for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and it looks like she is all alone. So we must have had a penalty called on Becca Recker there. Indeed, that is confirmed. No, it wasn't. We did not have a penalty called on Becca Recker. Oh, Greg's eyesight, not so great. That's going to be Indy at the jammer line for the Doomsday Valkyries. Nikki Badass at the high side, though, and Nikki Badass is out and clear for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Indy out of the pack as well, about a quarter of the track behind.
Scrapper's trying to keep the pace slow on that jam, enabling Nikki Badass to make one quick pass, score her points, and call it off.
Now setting up the jam is going to be Juicy Kill Tour for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and that is Sour Appletini for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Is that her first time jamming tonight?
It is her first time jamming tonight.
Look at that. And she's going to make the most of it, getting it out right in front of Juicy Kill Tour. Jammer race. Oh, little offensive, defensive jamming. And both jammers changing positions, but able to call off a jammer race.
Good-natured smiles all around and some high fives there between the two of them at the end. Sour Appletini tried to get in the way and throw a block and ended up taking a spill. So it's called off and no points for either side. Dolly Spartan now for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and it's War Girl for the Doomsday Valkyries. But no, War Girl has been called off the track. Penalty called there on Sour Appletini. Low block was the penalty, probably resulting from that time when she tried to knock down the other jammer. It looks like we got it all sorted out now. One more blocker called down for the Doomsday Valkyries. Finger guns at the ready, and we are ready to go. Dolly Spartan for the Schoolyard Scrappers is out there for the power jam, trying to cling to the inside of the track and just lost her balance. Gravity wins every time, kids. That's science. Dolly Spartan now gets through the pack and is out and clear. 45 seconds to go in the power jam. And now Dolly Spartan goes into point-making mode. Make hay while the sun is shining. And she is through on her first scoring pass and coming around for more. That time had some blocks helping her there. Her teammates on the Schoolyard Scrappers holding up those Doomsday Valkyries in the pack, making it easy for Dolly Spartan to find her way through in the inside now. Dolly Spartan up to the high side, able to get through pretty easily one more time. Coming around again, she's got 5 seconds to go, and she wants more points. And her blockers slide it up the track like a curtain. Dolly Spartan able to get by, and yet another scoring pass. That's going to be big points for the Schoolyard Scrappers. It's a 20-point power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And 20 points for Dolly Spartan going on the board.
Felony Storm and Kenya Diggett coming to the line to jam now. Got a bit of a thinner pack there. A couple Scrappers picked up penalties on that jam.
And there we go. It's Felony Storm and Kenya Diggett, and they are both out of the pack. Felony Storm calls it off.
Both jammers taking the high line and able to follow each other out.
No interest in a jammer race. Okay. It's going to be Pikachu for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Indy for the Valkyries.
Quick jam like that. No penalties. Both teams are full strength.
Full strength. All 10 skaters out there for this jam as we get ready to go. 90 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Schoolyard Scrappers cruising early here, 61-4. Now both jammers trying to find some purchase. Down to the inside goes Indy. Felony Storm is trying to fight her way by, Pikachu, that is. Pikachu trying to find her way by in the back straightaway, and does. And Pikachu's your lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And with some help from her friends, Pikachu gets by on another scoring pass, and will be coming around for some more.
Pikachu fighting her way along the high side, up along the rail. Able to get through the pack.
And that's going to do it. Pikachu goes ahead and calls off the last few seconds off the jam clock there. 10-point jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers, puts them up over 70. And it looks like it's going to be Felony Storm for the Scrappers and Becca Wrecker for the Valkyries. However, before we can get to that, it is going to be another official timeout. Regulator's going to talk this one over. So we'd like to get to some of our sponsors. We'll go ahead and kick things off in-house. Be sure to visit the Arizona Derby Dames merchandise booth to get your favorite league and team merchandise. A little birdie tells me we just got in fresh merch the last couple of days. We also have T-shirts, tank tops, hats, koozies, beach towels, Christmas tree ornaments, as well as stickers and buttons for your favorite team. It's the merch booth. It's right here outside of turn number 3.
Oh, Greg, you got a AZDD Christmas tree ornament on your tree?
We don't have a tree. We have 7 cats.
Oh. So you could get 7 broken ornaments tonight.
Indeed, yes. We could have.
Oh, hey, plastic.
They'd find a way, trust me. Freya Hugs doesn't have any shoelaces left on one pair of her Doc Martens because Baby Cat likes to chew on things. Anyhow, we're back to the action. This is going to be the last gem of the first quarter. One more time, it's Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Becca Recker for the Doomsday Valkyries. Felony Storm is out of the pack and clear and is your lead jammer for the Scrappers here. Pack now making its way down the back straightaway. Felony Storm takes advantage of the straggled out pack and is able to get through on a scoring pass. Becca Recker trying to find a way to the front now. Becca Recker able to get on through, and she's clear as well. So that'll curtail the scoring opportunities for Felony Storm here.
Felony Storm making her way through the pack again and calls off that jam. And with that, that's the end of the first quarter. Don't have our raffle tickets yet. Tonight's roller derby action is also brought to you by Lost Dutchman Tattoo. Lost Dutchman Tattoo is a tattoo shop specializing in various styles, from realism to traditional. They can customize your own tattoo. If you want, walk-ins are accepted, and they're located at 4121 North 19th Avenue. That's the east side of 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School Road. Lost Dutchman Tattoo.
Out on the track now, fans, it is our merchandise tossing crew. It is members of our minor assaults, and if you'd like to get yourself some Arizona Derby named swag, make sure to hoot and holler, wave those hands. They are going to be tossing it up into the stands.
Let me tell you about one of our season sponsors, Off the Hook Taco Truck. It's a locally owned and operated taco truck serving Southern California Baja-inspired cuisine. They have chicken and vegetarian options available as well. Go visit them outside for some delicious food, and don't forget to get me an LBC fries. Bacon and chorizo and lobster and special sauce.
Also available, the Cool Spot food truck outside for you to enjoy. They make acai bowls and smoothies to nourish and refresh Arizona residents who enjoy the heat. Their goal is to provide a healthy, delicious alternative to quick food that will fuel your day. That is your option for dessert this evening, the Cool Spot food truck.
We're going to take a minute also and tell you about Above and Beyond Palette Creations. If you're looking at the infield and you see that gorgeous Copper Star Coffee sign, that and a lot of the other signage here was made by Above and Beyond Palette Creations. They were repurposing palettes into art. They've created all of the other signage here at the Hall of Dames, too. For information or to commission work, see Bobby Ross, the coach of the Schoolyard Scrappers. You can see him in that good-looking jacket down there, the vest. You can also find them on Facebook at Above and Beyond Palette Creations.
Speaking of Copper Star Coffee, it is a locally owned coffee shop and cafe providing hand-blended drinks and award-winning baked goods. They're on the southwest corner of 7th Avenue and Heatherbrae. They're just north of Indian School Road there on 7th Avenue. In the Melrose District, it's Copper Star Coffee.
All right, folks, get your raffle tickets out. If you've been drawing tickets for raffle tickets, let's see. Raffle ticket number. Pink raffle ticket number 588644. If you've got raffle ticket 588644, make some noise for me. You just bought raffle tickets. You have a winning raffle ticket in your pocket. Number 588644. How's it going? All right, here comes second quarter roller derby action. Ballistic Buffalo and War Girl are going to show you how it's done.
Ballistic Buffalo jamming for the first time tonight for the Schoolyard Scrappers as we get into the second quarter. Schoolyard Scrappers 80, Doomsday Valkyries 4 here in the early going. And Ballistic Buffalo down to the inside, and Ballistic Buffalo is your lead jammer for the Doomsday Valkyries. War Girl out of the pack as well. Ballistic Buffalo is your lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers, is what I meant to say. And Ballistic Buffalo down to the inside, jumps over the corner of the turn, gets a raucous cheer from her bench, picks up her 4 points and calls off the jam.
Juicy Kiltour coming back out to jam for the Scrappers. And Kenya's out there for the Valkyries. Juicy going to try the middle. Kenya tries to follow her through. Pack working its way down towards turns 1 and 2. Kenya trying the high side while Juicy gets out and going through turn 3 and 4. Valkyries had a little fall, trying to wall up and provide some defense.
Big collision there at the back of the pack. Pretty Hurt Machine not giving up an inch to Kenya Diggett there at the very back end of things. And big collision there. Kenya Diggett still not out of the pack. 23 seconds. Now she's out. There she goes, I hear from behind me. Kenya Diggett out of the pack now, and now catching up for another scoring pass. There goes Juicy Kiltour up to the front of the pack. Down to the inside. Goes ahead and calls off the jam.
Pretty Hurt Machine doing a great job playing defense and offense, holding the other team's jammer and doing some offense, getting people out of the way, getting her jammer out.
Jamming for the Doomsday Valkyries is going to be Indy, number 500. Gets a big running head start. Pikachu into one of the Doomsday Valkyries blockers, takes a tumble, and Pikachu able to find her way right in the middle of the pack of the track. And Pikachu is your lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Dolly Spartan taking Indy down to the infield. Indy gets around Bobville. As Pikachu comes flying around the backside, takes a knee and calls off the jam.
It's going to be Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Becca Wrecker for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Both teams have a full complement of blockers as Felony Storm is able to get out in turn 1. Becca Wrecker follows her out in turn 2 as the pack gets to turn 2. Felony Storm coming up on the back of the pack and a wall of Valkyries. Valkyries getting bounced around and knocked to the infield. Felony Storm calls it off.
And the Schoolyard Scrappers are up over the 100-point mark here, 100-4. Scrappers have scored all the points here in the second quarter. Nikki Badass to the line for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and Aphrodite will be at the line for the Doomsday Valkyries. Was going to be, however, it's going to be a power jam. Looks like we've got the penalties all sorted out from the last jam. So it's going to be a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Nikki Badass is going to do the honors, your captain of the Scrappers. Nikki Badass up to the high side, trying to find her way through those blockers for the Valkyries. And they are called out of play, and Nikki Badass is out and clear. Nikki Badass up to the pack again. They've got one of those Doomsday Valkyries blockers locked in there, blocked in behind some of those Scrappers blockers, and that is definitely making it easy for Nikki Badass to find openings as the pack moving very slowly. 21 seconds to go here in the Power Jam. Nikki Badass now runs into a little bit of defense, trying to find her way through. Was briefly bumped down to the infield, goes ahead and calls it off after getting back up on the track. Nine-point power jam there for the Schoolyard Scrappers. So pretty good power jam defense by the Valkyries there to keep it under single digits.
And a couple of penalties on some Valkyries, making it a real thin pack. Pretty Hurt Machine able to get out really quickly right before turn one.
Becca Recker jamming again for the Valkyries, trying to find her way out of the pack and is still stuck in there behind some of the Schoolyard Scrappers blockers. Pretty Hurt Machine up to the high side, gets by the Valkyries jammer, gets out of the pack on a scoring pass now. The jam not quite half over, so she'll be coming around for some more points. Pack now making their way up here towards the far turn, and Felony Storm trying to find her way out with 12 seconds to go in the jam. Felony Storm on out. Becca Recker was almost clear a moment ago, but knocked down. Felony Storm calls off the rest of the time on the clock.
Bama doing a really good job trying to get her jammer out, but the Scrapper's able to recycle back around and make that wall in front of her again and again and again.
So now jamming for the Scrappers will be Dolly Spartan, and for the Valkyries is going to be Aphrodite. Aphrodite up off the line quick. Dolly Spartan choosing to take her time and see if she can find any lanes. Aphrodite, though, able to fight her way to the high side down to the inside and has to skate over in front of Dolly Spartan to call it off before she gets past. So no points for either side. We will reset. It's going to be Felony Storm for the Scrappers and Can You Dig It for the Valkyries. Both jammers down towards the infield, and they both take a tumble. See Maiden Asia there also getting knocked onto the infield. And it's going to be Can You Dig It getting out as your lead jammer. Out in front, and she's going to try to get back to the pack before Felony Storm here. Try to get some points scored before having to call it off. Felony Storm really trying to get some speed built up there, getting through the turn, trying to get through. Felony Storm takes a tumble as she was gaining ground. And Can You Dig It calls it off. Felony Storm ends up picking up some points there, and no points for the Valkyries. And it looks like a penalty called on the jammer for the Valkyries there, so it's going to be another power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Dolly Spartan out there to do the honors. And it's going to be, there we are with the jam, 60 seconds to get as many points as they can.
Valkyrie's able to keep on forming up a wall in front of Dolly Spartan, but they skated a little bit too far out of the play. We got to let her go.
20 seconds to go here in this Schoolyard Scrappers power jam. Dolly Spartan trying to come through there. That pivot, that's Indy. Scoots right in front of her and says, may I arrest your progress? Indy now trying to stay in front of her with her other blockers there. Dolly Spartan trying to find her way through with just a couple seconds left. And that's going to do it for the jam.
Nikki Badass doing her best to break up those Valkyries walls.
And it looks like we did have penalty called on Dolly Spartan there. Dolly Spartan picking up a back block penalty during that power jam. So now the power jam pendulum swings back the other way, and it's going to be Becca Recker power jamming for the Doomsday Valkyries here with 5 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the first half. The Valkyries are in search of their first points here in the second quarter, and this is going to be a great chance to get some points on the board. Very small pack out there as well. A whole lot of skaters in the penalty box. We got the minimum, yeah. 1 jammer and 2 blockers for each side. Becca Recker able to find her way by. So now the game becomes, you're going to see the Schoolyard Scrappers now try to keep the pace of play going. If they can keep the pack moving, it's less chances for Becca Recker to get around and catch. And I heard somebody from the audience helpfully yell, slow down. Good strategy. So Becca Recker now waiting for some help from her blockers. She's got Chingadora and BB Skate out there trying to give her a hand. 20 seconds to go here in the power jam. And a big collision. One of the blockers down. Looked like Chingadora took a tumble over her. Becca Recker gets out of the pack as a result. So Becca Recker is going to get some points on the board. We'll wait for the official scoring here. Was frantically trying to get around as quickly as she could. But the power jam expires. And it's 5 more points for the Doomsday Valkyries.
And both Scrappers that were out there that jam collecting penalties. So Scrappers are back down to 2 blockers on this jam.
And it's going to be Pikachu for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Wargirl, your captain for the Doomsday Valkyries. Pikachu down to the inside, and Pikachu is your lead jammer for the Scrappers. Wargirl exits the pack as well. Pikachu fully aware, and Pikachu goes ahead and calls off the jam.
Wargirl closing on Pikachu. It's easier to start over with the full pack.
Quick jam like that, no penalties assessed to either side, so indeed a full complement of skaters out there. It's going to be Can You Dig It for the Doomsday Valkyries and Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Felony Storm trying the high side there and then making her way down to low and getting out.
Can You Dig It up to the front end of the pack now, trying to find a way through. Big collision, a couple of blockers down for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Can You Dig It fights her way by Maiden Asia and is out of the pack as well. Felony Storm now on her scoring attempt up to the high side with a block from Cruisin' for a Bruisin'. And Felony Storm able to get on by unhampered there. 3 minutes to go until halftime. It's going to be Ballistic Buffalo for the Scrappers. For the Valkyries, that's Aphrodite.
Aphrodite trying the low and gets knocked off the track. Ballistic Buffalo gets knocked off the track at the front of the pack. But she's able to get by High Voltage and get on out of the pack. About halfway around the track from the pack. The pack is picking up speed. Aphrodite gets out in turn 4. Everybody trying to wall up and plan their defense as Ballistic Buffalo skates through on the low. Calling it off right as Aphrodite was getting back around to the pack. Picking up 4 points on that jam.
We've got Juicy Kill Tour for the Scrappers and Becca Recker for the Valkyries. And Juicy Kill Tour out of the pack and is your lead jammer for those Scrappers.
Ivy Overdose and Carla Dang doing a good job holding Becca Recker at the back of the pack, letting their jammer through and closing the door.
And able
Recker takes the opportunity to get through on the low side. Juicy Kill Tour running out of gas after coming off the track, calls off the jam.
So setting up the jam now, that's going to be War Girl for the Valkyries and Pikachu for the Scrappers. It looks like a full complement of skaters out there, so the jammer's trying to find some openings. War Girl up to the high side, and War Girl is your lead jammer for the Valkyries here as we're under 1 minute to go until halftime.
War Girl coming up on the back of the pack. Makes her way through the middle, comes up on a wall of Scrappers. And she pushes them out of play, continues her journey.
Pikachu still hemmed in there in the back of the pack. Aphrodite blocks her down to the ground once again. War Girl now trying to get some more points here on the board. This time runs into some stout defense there at the back end of the pack. Bumped off by Horchata down to the infield. Under 5 seconds to go here in the jam. War Girl goes ahead and calls off the jam. We will wait for the official score there. It's a 7-point jam for the Doomsday Valkyries. Brings them up to 16 on the bout. And to end things off here in the last jam of the first half, it's going to be a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. But before we get to that, it is going to be a team timeout called by the Doomsday Valkyries. And a challenge called by the Doomsday Valkyries, all being relayed to us by game executioner Freya Hugs at the very tippy top of her lungs. So the Doomsday Valkyries calling a challenge on one of the penalties assessed there in that last jam, most likely the penalty assessed to their jammer. So the regulators are going to convene there in the back straightaway, and we're going to take a second here while they talk it over before we get to the last jam of the first half before halftime. We'd like to let you know about one of our league sponsors, Siphon Draw Apothecary Shop. It's an all-natural, non-toxic, and handcrafted skincare product line made by our very own Dolly de los Muertos, a member of the Regulators crew. Visit them at the Goldfield Ghost Town on historic Highway 88.
Hey, folks, if you're looking for something to do after the bout tonight, go to Third Space. Come join the Arizona Derby Dames official after-party location, Third Space. They've got a cafe, bar, coffee, got shops and music. They're located at 1028 Grand Avenue. That's Third Space. Head outside and check out our vendor village. Arizona Derby Dames supports local businesses by giving them the ability to showcase their work here. Give them your hard-earned money. Tonight we are hosting Axis Hemp Company, a family-owned company selling CBD products for pets and the people who love them, as well as Naughty Pockets, who sell small handmade goods from fanny packs to coin purses. Check out our vendor village outside.
Another of our league sponsors, Plague Fitness. They're providing those infected by fitness, roller derby, and healthy living with clothing for that contagious lifestyle. Visit their website at plaguefitness.com. And after review, the regulators say the penalty was upheld. So power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers will stand as we get back to the action here. As I said, one more jam to go here in the first half, even though the clock sits at quadruple zeros. We do have one more jam to get to here in the first half before the halftime break. And so, just waiting for discussion to wrap up here after the decision by the regulators. All right, it looks like we have got all this rounded up. There we are with the official signal, so we are ready to get back underway here one more time. And we do have a power jam and doing the honors for the Schoolyard Scrappers. We'll wait to confirm that there, the number right behind the rail. And indeed, that is Cruisin' for a Bruisin', jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers for the first time this evening. So Cruisin' for a Bruisin' out there now for the Scrappers in this power jam that is going to wrap up the first half. And she is out of the pack to a cheer from the Schoolyard Scrappers bench.
Pretty hurt machine out there trying to get some offense going and break up this Valkyrie wall. And she gets her jammer out. 10 seconds left in this jam. Slow pack, plenty of time for her to get through that group. And with the jam clock running out, she got a lot of points on that last pass. No, not all of them.
And just a brief discussion there between the regulators and the team captains, but we are going to step aside for halftime, so it's a 15-minute halftime break. One more time, if you'd like to get yourself a bite to eat, we've got the Minor Assault selling popcorn. Follow your noses down there outside of turn 2. We've got the snack bar. We've got Off the Hook taco truck and Cool Spot dessert truck outside as well. So lots of options for you. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
All right, folks, get your raffle tickets out again. We have a raffle drawing at the end of every quarter. Pink raffle tickets, number 588-636, and number 588-618. Pink raffle tickets, 588, numbers 636 and 618. Make some noise, come on down, and claim your prize. Hey, folks, put your hands together for some more of our minor assaults. Passing out T-shirts. Look at these roller derby juniors go. Hey, folks, before we start the next half of the bout, if you are parked on the west side of this driveway here, if you've parked along the west side of this driveway here, you're going to need to move your car. You need to be able to get fire trucks or anybody else through there if we have to have emergency vehicles, and right now that's not happening. So if you're parked on the west side of this driveway, you're going to need to have you move your car, please.
All right, with that whistle, we are going to get back to the action, and we are going to start things off here in the second half. Schoolyard Scrappers 151, Doomsday Valkyries 16. At the jammer line is going to be Dolly Spartan for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and I believe that was War Girl for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Got a full complement of skaters for both teams now.
And we are ready to go. The jam is underway. The second half is underway. And Dolly Spartan is your lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
War Girl able to get out of the pack just as Dolly Spartan's coming up on the pack. Valkyries aren't going to let her get away that easy. Dolly picking up 3 points on that jam.
Now we've got Kenya Diggett for the Valkyries and Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Felony Storm trying the high side, Kenya trying the middle. Felony Storm able to skate around the pack and get out. Kenya's able to get out in turn 2, about a quarter track behind her. Felony Storm high in the pack as she comes up. Low to high, calls off the jam.
One point there for the Scrappers. As we set it for the next jam, it's going to be Pikachu for the Scrappers and Aphrodite for the Valkyries. Tightly bunched pack there, and just as they get around to the corner there, tightly bunched pack, suddenly both jammers explode from the pack at the same time. Pikachu was out and was the lead jammer, and Pikachu calls it off. So we will set up again now. It's going to be Becker Wrecker for the Doomsday Valkyries and Pretty Hurt Machine for the Scrappers. However, before we get to that, we do have an official timeout. So the regulators crew are going to talk over some of that and make sure we've got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
Tonight's roller derby action is also brought to you by Devastation. Devastation is your go-to shop for everything on wheels. From the raddest of rad roller skates to the bomb.com light-up wheels spinning on slicker than slick ball bearings. Let Devastation help you find the perfect ride and gear to keep you protected while cruising. Offering nearly everything skate-related from nuts and stops to bolts and bags on flashy wheels. Check them out at www.devastation.com.
And the official timeout has concluded. So once again, it's Becca Wrecker for the Valkyries and Pretty Hurt Machine for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Hurt's going to battle her way out and get out by turn 2. Becca Wrecker still wrestling around in the pack there. Trying to keep a fast pack as Becca Record gets out, just as Pretty Hurt Machine hits the back of the pack. She's weaving and winding her way through. Valkyries have formed up a nice wall in front of her, though. She gets through and calls off the jam. Valkyries have been working on their walls, and it really shows.
So setting up now, jam is going to be Nikki Badass for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and that is Indy for the Valkyries. It looks like they're both in the pack, still trying to find their way out. Indy looking for an opening now, trying to dodge those last couple of blockers for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Nikki Badass back there, sort of towards the back of the pack, trying to find her way through. Indy's trying to push her way through there, but Nikki Badass down to the inside, and Nikki Badass as the lead jammer for the Scrappers. Indy is just behind her. One point there for Nikki Badass. Looks like setting up the jam is going to be Juicy Kill Tour for the Scrappers and Can You Dig It for the Valkyries.
Couple of clean jams starting off this quarter. Not a lot of penalties. Juicy Kill Tour able to get out early. Can You Dig It trying the high side along the rail. She's able to get by the last Scrapper, and she's out. Juicy Kill Tour able to ride around the rail and burn off some time.
Stepping to the jammer line now, it's going to be Ballistic Buffalo for the Schoolyard Scrappers and War Girl for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Both teams losing a blocker on that last jam. Wargo getting tied up by her own teammate on that. Taken to the middle by Nikki Badass. Ballistic Buffalo is halfway around the track, coming back up on the pack and eyeing her plan. As War Girl gets out, just as Ballistic Buffalo clears the pack and calls off the jam.
So now setting up at the jammer line is going to be Becca Wrecker for the Valkyries, and that's going to be Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Felony Storm able to take the rail side all the way around, and she's out. Becca Wrecker still managing her way through the pack, and she gets out in turn 3. Felony Storm coming up with a plan. Calling off the jam.
And setting up for the next jam, it's Pikachu for the Scrappers and Aphrodite for the Valkyries.
Pikachu trying the low side, gets bumped down to the infield. As Aphrodite trying to battle her way along behind Dolly Spartan, holding her. And Pikachu is able to get out. Peak is your lead jam, but Aphrodite gets out right behind her and trying to chase her down.
And Pikachu calls off the jam. Aphrodite coming up quickly there towards the end of that, so Pikachu calls it off, and the score stays where it is.
Striker down is the jammer for your Scrappers, and Can You Dig It? Coming at you for your Valkyries. She's working her way through the middle of the pack. Cruising for a bruising, though, trying real hard on the high side, get through this wall of Valkyries. Been talking about that Valkyries wall all night long. And Kenya is able to get out and turn 3.
Right behind her for the Schoolyard Scrappers is cruising for a bruising. Kenya Diggett now trying to catch the pack. Pack moving quickly now. Schoolyard Scrappers out in front of that pack and trying to control the pace of play, keeping the pack moving fast. Kenya Diggett tries to pick up some points, tries to stick her hips in front of a couple of skaters and takes a hard tumble down to the infield. And now at the jammer line, it's going to be War Girl versus Nikki Badass. It's your two captains, War Girl for the Valkyries and Nikki Badass for the Scrappers.
Nikki Badass skates straight through that pack, and she's out. She's your jammer, lead jammer. War Girl finally battling her way. Oh, but she's not done yet.
Nikki Badass through the pack, picks up her points, and she calls off the jam.
Hey, folks, there's still a couple of you still parked along that western side in the driveway here. If you're parked in the driveway here, go out there and take a look and see if your car is still there.
Looks like we're ready to get underway. It's going to be Becca Recker for the Valkyries, and jamming for the first time for the Scrappers, it's Carla Dang.
Carla Dang taken down to the infield. Becca Recker still battling to the front of these Scrappers who keep on recycling in front of her. Carla Dang right behind her, though, on the rail on the high side. Eyeing a low side, and she gets out. Becca Recker tries to follow her, but Ivy Overdose knocks her to the infield. She's got to get back in line behind them.
And now Becca Recker out for the Doomsday Valkyries. Looks like Carla Dang threw the pack on a scoring pass. Now is going to go ahead and call it off rather than surrender any points to War Girl catching the pack herself. 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in the third quarter. But before we get any further and announce our next jammers, it's going to be an official timeout by the regulators. So they're going to talk that one over, and we're going to talk about some of our sponsors, like Nutrition One School Lunch Program. Food is the energy that growing children need. Providing healthy, great tasting, and freshly prepared whole foods to local schools valley-wide, Nutrition One works closely with the Department of Education and the USDA to make sure our children are getting what they need daily to stay focused and get the best out of their school lunch. It's Nutrition One School Lunch Program.
During this official timeout, we're going to talk about our regulators. If you're interested in being a part of the roller derby community, but hitting people isn't your thing, our regulators are always looking for dedicated and eager minds to learn our rule set and help keep our ladies on the track safe. Our regulator team accepts all gender types, and there are various levels of officiating that go on during a roller derby bout. Come be a part of the action, help our league grow. Ask any skater or ref how to get involved.
Did you know that 40% of youth experiencing homelessness identify as LGBTQ? 1 in 10 envisions a world where all LGBTQ youth and young adults are embraced for who they are, actively engaged in their communities, and empowered to lead. 1 in 10 provides housing, health and wellness, education, and employment and empowerment to youth ages 14 to 24. Stop by their booth outside to check out ways to get involved, or visit their Diva Tree here just outside the Hall of Dames ticket booth, and grab a tag to help make the holiday a little brighter for the youth in your community. That's 1 in 10, the Derby Dames December charity.
Here comes Bob Villain for your Schoolyard Scrappers, jamming for the first time tonight against Aphrodite. Got a traffic jam coming out of the box. Bob Villain getting up to the front of the pack, right behind Aphrodite. And it was a matter of time until that got called off.
Setting up the jam now at the jammer line is going to be Felony Storm for the Scrappers and Sour Appletini for the Valkyries.
Felony Storm able to get out on the low side really quickly there. Sarah Appletini dancing along the coping, and she gets out as well. Both jammers out. Felony Storm coming up on the back of the pack. Gets through and calls it off.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have another captain-on-captain battle. It's going to be War Girl for the Valkyries and Nikki Badass for the Scrappers. And the jam gets underway after everything is all checked out. Nikki Badass trying to sneak by on the inside, but bumped off onto the infield. War Girl is your lead jammer for the Doomsday Valkyries. Nikki Badass now reestablished inbounds and is about half a track behind. War Girl now trying to catch the pack. Schoolyard Scrappers trying to push the pace of play one more time. War Girl now up to the pack, trying to go by on the high side. Runs up into the rail and into a couple of blockers. Calls off the jam.
Valkyrie's able to pick up 2 points on that jam. 2-0 on that jam.
And it does look like we had a penalty assessed to the jammer for the Scrappers there in the last jam. So, can you dig it out there for a power jam for the Doomsday Valkyries with just 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter? Can you dig it's going to try to get some points on the board for the Valkyries here. Bumped around a little bit down to the infield, now back up and trying to find her way by. Trying the high side of the track. Schoolyard Scrappers there to close it off, so she's still trying to find some purchase.
Scrappers able to keep on recycling around in front of her. Got to keep passing the same people over and over again.
That Scrapper defense is standing tall there. Always somebody in front of Kenya as she's trying to clear the pack. 15 seconds to go in the power jam. Escorted down to the infield there by that Schoolyard Scrappers blocker on the back end. Kenya Diggett pulls herself up to her feet to a round of applause from the audience. And that's going to do it. The clock expires on that power jam. Excellent penalty kill defense by the Schoolyard Scrappers. Setting up the jam now, that's going to be Aphrodite for the Valkyries. And for the Schoolyard Scrappers, it's Pikachu.
Both jammers caught in the middle of the pack there. Pikachu able to sneak out. Aphrodite still battling. Cruising for a bruising, holding her back. Takes her down to the infield. Getting by Ballistic Buffalo. Dolly Spartan gets one last hit in and takes Aphrodite to the middle. Pikachu makes her scoring pass complete and going back around for seconds. Still about 20 seconds left on this jam as the pack slows down in turn 2. And that's a second complete jam, second complete pass in this jam.
And that is going to do it for the third quarter. We're waiting for the official score here from that last jam, and it looks like it's going to be 10 points on the board for the Scrappers. So they're heading up towards the 200-point barrier. And we're going to step aside for a 5-minute break here. We'll do some raffle prizes. We'll talk about some sponsors and be right back with the fourth quarter.
All right, folks, get your pink raffle tickets out. Number 588650, come on down. You got a raffle prize to pick up. Number 688650. I've got another raffle prize here. Number 588539. Raffle ticket number, pink raffle ticket number 588539. Come on over here by the announcer's booth and pick up your prize. Also, folks, we're still announcing, if you're parked in the driveway over here, we need you to move your car. We got a long night ahead of us of Derby, and you'd like to have a car there to drive you home in. We don't want to have to tow it, but you got to move it, please. If you're parked along the west side of the wall, right here in the driveway, along the west side there, you need to move your car, please. All right, folks, welcome to the fourth quarter. Sour Appletini coming to the line for the Valkyries, and Felony Storm for your Schoolyard Scrappers. Felony Storm battling her way through the middle and gets right on out. Sarah Appletini trying to work her way down along the bottom. Carla Dang holding her, and Juicy Kiltour recycling back up to the front. Sarah Appletini knocked to the infield by Juicy Kiltour right here in turn 4. Felony Storm tip-topping her way through. Decides she's going to go for second. Still got 30 seconds left on the jam clock. Sarah Appletini fighting her way through turn 1. Sarah Appletini battles her way through. Felony Storm makes her second scoring pass. Keeping her eyes on the clock. Scrapper's able to pick up 9 points on that jam. 9 points, Mrs. Bueller.
And setting up to jam now, it's going to be Dolly Spartan for the Scrappers and Indy for the Valkyries. Both jammers content to patiently approach the pack and now trying to find an opening. Indy up to the high side, trying to race that last blocker to the front of the pack, but that pivot did her job. And Dolly Spartan able to exit the pack and is your lead jammer for the Scrappers. Indy is just behind her, of course. Dolly Spartan goes ahead and comes on around, burns some more time off the clock, and calls off the jam.
Indy had some fancy footwork there trying to get out of that pack. Excellent skating.
We've got Kenya Diggett getting ready to jam for the Valkyries, and Cruisin' for a Bruisin' is jamming for the Scrappers. And almost out of the pack was Kenya Diggett, but those blockers for the Scrappers had her in their sights. Held her up, and Cruisin' for a Bruisin' able to get free and is your lead jammer for the Scrappers. Kenya Diggett now back up on the track and reestablished, trying to find her way through.
I've just been informed that 50-50 raffles up to $300. 50-50 raffle benefiting you and then benefiting our Minor Assaults junior skating program.
We are going to have an official timeout here. Bender B. Rodriguez signaling that. So an official timeout called by the regulators before we get to the next jam.
Speaking of our Minor Assaults, where'd it go? Are you a young lady between the ages of 10 to 17 who loves to skate, or do you know somebody like that? Our Minor Assaults are a nonprofit 501c3, and they're always looking for new skaters to join their team. Our coaches teach not only technique and knowledge of the sport, but they also help build leadership, teamwork, and problem-solving skills that will help them in life situations far beyond roller derby. Minor skating skills and a dedication to learn, positive mental attitude is all that we require. Come see what all the fun is about. Ask any derby dame how to get involved, or visit our website at AZDD Inspire for information on donating or sponsoring our Minor Assaults.
Looks like we're ready to get underway. It's going to be War Girl for the Doomsday Valkyries, and jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers is Pikachu. Pikachu tiptoeing by along the inside, able to easily take lead jammer status for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And your jammer for the Doomsday Valkyries, that's War Girl, and she's out of the pack as well. Pikachu picks up her points and calls off the jam.
Pikachu came out of the Minor Assaults as well.
So we line up for the next jam. It's going to be Becca Recker for the Valkyries and Felony Storm for the Scrappers. Felony Storm along the inside and able to find an opening, and Felony Storm's your lead jammer.
Becker Rucker making her way to the front of the pack and getting held up by the Scrappers there. Her team trying to provide a little bit of offense for her and get her out. She's able to get out by turn 1. Felony Storm is battling at the back of the pack. Bama giving her a little bit of a nudge. Felony Storm, jam clock runs out.
Scrappers picking up 3 points in that jam. Lining up the jam now is going to be Ballistic Buffalo for the Scrappers and Aphrodite for the Valkyries. And Aphrodite out of the pack and is your lead jammer for the Valkyries. Ballistic Buffalo out of the pack as well, and trying to gain some ground here is Aphrodite, now trying to catch that pack, which has suddenly found its legs. Tries to slide by along the inside and pick up as many points as she can. And we're going to take a timeout for an injured skater. Medical crew over to check on her. Hot and ready now up on her skates, and will get back to the bench under her own power.
Sometimes you want to be left alone.
So that brings the official timeout to a quick end. And we are going to have, looks like we're going to have a power jam. We do have a power jam. Doomsday Valkyries have a power jam. Penalty called on the Scrappers jammer there in the last jam. So this is going to be a power jam for Sour Apple Teeny for the Doomsday Valkyries. Teeny out there to do the work, goes along the inside, and Teeny is out of the pack and is your lead jammer for the Valkyries.
Sarah Appletini making her way through the pack, trying the high side, trying the low side, leaving one Scrapper behind. Passing through, getting her points, and she's out. She's got time enough for a second pass. Pack is getting split up now. The Valkyrie's able to slow this down, give their jammer a chance to score some points. Jumps the coping.
Knocked off onto the infield by Cruisin' for a bruising, and now Sour Appletini trying to find her way by. That is going to do it for the jam.
Yes, good job, Streak. 8 orange.
And the Valkyries pick up 8 points on that power jam. And we do have a team timeout called by the Valkyries. So we're going to take a break from the action. Valkyrie's going to take a team timeout here with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
All right, folks, mark your calendars. Season 14 continues with our next bout on January 5th. This game is going to be a doubleheader. It's going to feature home teams from the Arizona Derby Dames. The Runaway Brides are battling the Coffin Draggers in the first game. That should be a heck of a fight. The second game is also going to be an action-packed feature of the Minor Assaults and some of your favorite hot shots in a mentorship matchup, all right here in the Hall of Dames. If you don't think that that second bout is going to be fun, you don't know the Minor Assaults. The best team in the league are the kids.
Fans, we have a very important announcement from the regulator crew. Please, no whistling at any time during the bout. Whistling can distract the skaters and bring a premature end to a jam. So we have been asked to give a warning, no whistling from the audience during the jams. Also, as it starts to get crowded in here with the crowd arriving for the second game this evening, don't forget during game action, always remain behind the yellow line around the track during game action unless you are part of the bout production staff. You do see some of our referees and camera persons with their equipment there alongside the track, but they know what they're looking for, and you don't know what a skate coming off the track can look like and do to the back of your head. So make sure that you stay behind that yellow line during game action at all times.
Dolly Spartan able to get out of that pack right promptly. War Girl still stuck in the back for the Valkyries. Gets just knocked off the track by Horchata. Dolly Spartan able to fight her way through the pack pretty briefly. Heading out for a second round of roller derby. War Girl still battling with Horchata at the back of the pack. Dolly Spartan cutting through.
Orange is still not out. Orange is still not out. Coming up on third pass. Orange is still not out. Orange is out. Orange is out. Got it.
Exiting out of the front of the pack, there goes War Girl for the Valkyries. Just a little bit of time left in the jam. War Girl's trying to keep her from getting lapped. Not able to do it. Tried to throw a block there, ended up on the ground, and Dolly Spartan picks up that last point. 15 points for the Scrappers there. Setting up now on the jammer line, that's going to be Carla Dang for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Sour Appletini for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Carla Dang able to get out first. She's your lead jammer. Sour Appletini still pushing her way through the pack. Juicy Kill Tour and Ivy Overdose holding her until the last possible minute, but they're out of play, so they got to let her go. Meanwhile, Carla Dang's at the back of the pack trying to get through this Valkyrie wall. Made in Asia trying to provide a little offense for her.
Sour Appletini coming down the front straightaway with a full head of steam there. Carla Dang hadn't called it yet, so she did her level best to hurdle one of her own skaters there, trying to pick up some points.
One goes point. So it's 3.
Now setting up on the jammer line, it's going to be Pikachu for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
You had one goes point. Okay, orange 3.
And it was 3 points for the Doomsday Valkyries, so they indeed pick up a few points there. However, penalty called on Sour Appletini means it's going to be a power jam for Pikachu here. Power jam doing the Pikachu thing for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And dispensing with a couple of blockers is Pikachu trying to get to the front of the pack now and find her way through.
Valkyries don't want to let her go so easy.
More blockers taking a tumble.
Hot and Ready and Shirley Temple of Doom holding her until they get pushed out of play.
Pikachu now through the pack, approaches that wall of defenders for the Valkyries and able to get on by him. Did not have to get back up and reestablish on the track behind the person that blocked her out, as that person also went off the track. So Pikachu able to go on by, and they're content to just go ahead and let the clock run at this point. 4.5 minutes to go. They're up by 200 points. And that is going to do it on the Power Jam. And it's a 10-point jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And now up there to jam, it's going to be Nikki Badass for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and that's Can You Dig It for the Doomsday Valkyries with 4 minutes to go in regulation. And Nikki Badass is your lead jammer for the Scrappers. A lot of skaters taking a tumble there, not including the jammer. We've had a star pass, and the Doomsday Valkyries have passed the star on. Putting it on I believe that was Becca Recker? Yeah, Becca Recker. But that's going to do it for that jam. The Scrappers jammer got through, got her points, and called it off. Setting up the jam now, it's going to be Dolly Spartan for the Scrappers and Aphrodite for the Valkyries.
About 3.5 minutes left in your fourth quarter.
And we are underway. Aphrodite trying to find her way through Dolly Spartan down along the inside, and Dolly Spartan is the lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Dolly Spartan with a quick move, darted her way through the pack and up into the rail, now keeping an eye on Aphrodite. Again, going to let some time run off that clock before she calls off the jam. Setting up the jam this time is going to be Sour Appletini for the Valkyries and Felony Storm for the Scrappers. This jam is underway. Felony Storm bumped off onto the infield by one of the Valkyries' blockers. Able to find her way through along the inside, though, and she's your lead jammer for the Scrappers. Felony Storm fought her way through the pack and is out on a scoring pass with 24 seconds to go in this jam.
Sour Appletini still your jammer. Juicy Kiltour taking her down to the infield.
And Felony Storm now approaching the pack. We have the jammer now. Felony Storm trying to make her way through. We have had a star pass, but they're not out yet. And there goes Becca Recker now. Becca Recker putting the star on as the clock expires on the jam.
Here comes Pikachu for your Schoolyard Scrappers. And we're looking at a power jam.
Definitely a power jam. We did have a penalty called on Sour Appletini before she handed off the star cover. So that is a jammer penalty, and that means Pikachu gets a power jam for the Scrappers. We're under a minute to go in regulation here. Big collision there towards the back of the pack. A lot of skaters down. Pikachu now up on her skates. Takes a second to recompose herself and is now trying to get on through. Another big tumble there.
Valkyrie's walling up and having a slowing down Pikachu, keeping her back for a long time. Solid 4 wall and a slow pack. Pikachu able to get out before they're able to wall up again.
Just a couple seconds left here on the jam clock, and Pikachu is more than content to let that go off the clock and run down. So that's going to take us to quadruple zeros on this game. We're going to wait for the penalty situation to be reviewed. If there's penalties on both sides, this game will be over. We will wait for the official signal from head referee Hoover Slam.
We're still looking for pink raffle ticket number 588539. Pink raffle ticket 588539. If you're out there, come on down. You need this ornament.
And after review, that is going to do it for this first game. Start to finish, the Schoolyard Scrappers were in control on the victor of the first bout this evening. Schoolyard Scrappers 265. Doomsday Valkyries 30. Fans can come on down trackside at this point and get a high five from your favorite skater on their way by.
Way to go to your Schoolyard Scrappers. And hey, how about those Doomsday Valkyries? A lot of fans out here to see the Valkyries tonight.
All right, that brings us to the end of game number 1 this evening. We will be getting into our second game of the evening. Intros for the Beauties and Draggers will start at 8:20. First whistle, 8:25 p.m. 40 minutes from now. So one more time, we are at the end of game 1. The next 2 teams will be warming up. And then we'll begin team introductions for the Beauties and the Draggers at 8:20 p.m. right on schedule, the printed schedule. So whatever. Let's see. You want your clock at 35 minutes right now. I couldn't get it back into full screen. I don't know what I was doing. I thought I'd see if I could figure it out.
I'm sorry, which team did you say was first?
Beauties.
Come on, damn it. Thank you.
And 33 minutes.
And going. So we're good? 33 is
Yep.
good? Okay. Now I'm going to go print my stuff.